Every organization that writes grants or proposals has the same hidden problem. Somewhere in your shared drives, there are previous applications, evaluation reports, some insights, some project documentation that contain exactly the evidence and the language you might need to use when writing a new proposal. So in this short tutorial, I want to use a case of an organization that is trying to help its team to brainstorm and also to connect the dots from different documents while writing a new grant proposal. We will start with creating a new notebook. So the first starting point for any activity in NotebookLM, we first have to create our knowledge base for this notebook, for this project. So writing a new grant proposal. Immediately we can see that we are asked by NotebookLM, do we want to search for web sources, search with a typical search engine or maybe with additional AI search engine, or we can upload our own documents. We can use links to public websites, to YouTube videos, to connected Google Drive, copy text right away, or upload specific documents. For writing a grant, you can imagine you might have some previous proposals, maybe some evaluation, maybe some internal documents on how to write, what's our mission, what's our strategy. So I created for this video a set of documents that I want to help myself brainstorm a new grant proposal. I have the call for proposals, I have some successful previous proposals for the same grant giver, evaluation reports from previous years, also my organization's theory of change, and some additional research with data about a topic that I'm writing. So in this example, digital inclusion. If I need something more, I can always add sources by searching or uploading more. If I need to focus on a specific source in a conversation, I can deselect the documents and select just one that I want to focus on. Or if I want to work on all of them, I keep it select all here. So we have our sources already in place. This is our source of truth. NotebookLM will be using only this as a knowledge to base its answers. So what we'll be using in a second in the middle in the prompting box, but also we will be testing, does it stick only to the information, only to the knowledge that it's in those documents. So let's move to the middle of the screen, which is the notebook box when we can prompt, we can ask questions to the documents. We can already see that there is information that it will be using 7 sources, so all sources connected here. And I will just start with a simple prompt before we discuss how NotebookLM works. So maybe first, not knowing everything from previous years, previous grants, I want to ask what outcomes, indicators did we use in previous projects to measure impact of the digital skills training. And what we'll get in few seconds should be based only on the documents that we used as sources for our notebook. So we can see when NotebookLM is writing, it's giving us an answer, so very similarly to any other generative AI chatbot. But what we see, and it's crucial, the difference here is that because we want to be sure that NotebookLM is exactly looking and quoting documents and data that we uploaded, we will be checking those citations, those small numbers that are giving us an indicator that, okay, this is taken from this part of information, this part of the answer was generated based on a specific document. And if you click on those, you will not only see a summary, but you also can go directly to the text from each of the documents. If you are using for a similar scenario an audio file or a video file, it will create a transcript. So you will be able to jump through the citation mark to part of the transcript as well. Here we are jumping between 2 different documents in the first few citations, so 2 different projects, proposals, and their evaluation, and we can see those were the indicators, outcomes, and indicators used in previous proposals. So I can easily compare, I can easily check and see, okay, not only NotebookLM gave me an answer, but I can also deep dive into this document and I can read more. I can double check if there is no hallucination, if there's no mistake, or even just directly go into the document based on the first summary of the first answer and then read through the document, read through the source. So this is already showing us how NotebookLM can make it easier and faster for me, but also how it's very aligned between the answer and the source of the knowledge that we want to be sure that NotebookLM is working. And those citations, of course, there are more here. I can check the sources of each of them and it will jump through the sources on the left side, and in the middle it will be giving me the answer. So let's check something more and let's ask NotebookLM about something more creative, but still connected to the documents. So let's ask it if, based on the founder's call for proposals, which of our past activities might still be matching to the priorities this year. So I don't only need here a simple answer. I need some thinking from, in quotations mark, thinking from the LLM here, from NotebookLM, also to find and match from one document, so match from the call for proposals, information from the historical proposals from previous years. So we can see there is a strong match for some activities that we've done in the past. Let's check them. How does it look here? So we have information from the call for proposals. So I'm having an information, context information for, okay, this grant proposal is looking for stuff like this. And under next quotation, I will have previous proposals, and NotebookLM is pointing me to my previous activities and giving me explanation how those activities still match the new proposal. So I can maybe use this to see, okay, do we want to propose based on that very simple checking, maybe we want to propose the next edition of the same activity. Maybe we want to just align our new project with the history of our activities, or maybe we want to show that we are moving from that and we are proposing something new, still matching, but maybe reference the previous activities that were already aligned with this specific grant giver and his program. So right away you can see how useful this is in not only brainstorming, but maybe building some data, building some scaffolding for writing the new proposal. And to finish that, we will test the boundaries on NotebookLM, how it's keeping the answers only to the sources that we gave to NotebookLM in the first place. So I'm asking it, what are the other organizations in your region doing digital inclusion that we could reference? And hopefully it should give me an answer that it doesn't have any information in the documents that we gave it at the beginning. And let's see. Is it proposing any additional organizations from our region? No, the provided sources do not contain details about independent digital inclusion projects being run by other specific organizations. However, I can recommend, based on the documents, general ideas, so like local libraries. Okay, so with those few first questions, we already see what we can do and what we cannot do with NotebookLM. We tested its boundaries, we tested it how to use it for comparison of different type of data sources, using it to align information between different formats, different sources that we have in our sources guide, also to make it useful as a tool for connecting dots, connecting data between different documents, many documents. I've used only 7, but you can, in a free version, upload up to 50 documents, and in the paid version up to 300 documents, and go through those documents with the prompting techniques that you also probably use in a different chatbots. But here you are constrained, and this is good, you are constrained only to the documents that you are selecting, which also constrain the NotebookLM only to use the documents the sources that you've selected to work with them. So this is how you can use NotebookLM for brainstorming, for helping you write new grant proposals, or any other type of documents that include working through historical previous documents and you want to be able to easily research through their contents.